Wow, this is one of the most, I think, interesting and most difficult thing that I ever have to do. Talking about my life as a single mom, but if it's gonna help somebody, then I'm gonna share it. Throughout my journey, one thing I have learned is that, and it's one of my favorite quotes, I don't know who wrote it. It says that a single mother has a backbone of steel and a heart of gold. You can't change being a single mom. It happens. Nobody planned on it, and it's just something that happens. Sometimes it happens overnight, and sometimes it takes time. It happens as life goes on. Mine happened I wanted a child, but I don't think I was in a relationship with the person. And what happened was that I guess he didn't want to be a father, or he wasn't ready. But when I told him that I was pregnant, at the beginning he was excited, he was happy. So we just started off, we lived together, and then when she was born, even though he lived in the house, he wasn't there. Because I can't remember one time when she was 5 months and we were having a party for my dad, and he came. She refused to go to him. She was crying as if she has seen a monster, so, and then all of a sudden one day he just told me, I'm leaving. And I remember just saying to myself, okay, because emotional abuse, nobody can help you. But physical abuse, people see it on you and they are able to help you overcome it. So it wasn't an easy journey being a single mom, raising a daughter, going to school, and working at the same time. But throughout the journey, I had help. I had people that I would say God put in my life to kind of help me. When I found out that I was pregnant, I told my dad. He didn't speak to me for a whole year. That was hard, especially not having a mom. My mom passed away when I was a teenager, so not having her around and not having the support of your dad and going through all of that, it was not easy to do it. And the person that's supposed to be there with you going through it decide that he doesn't want to be part of it was not easy either. I remember I had to move back home with my dad and start life all over again with my daughter. And I will go to school during the day and I will work at night. And when I finish work in the morning, go straight to school, come home, pick her up. Sometimes I will fall asleep in the couch and she will fall asleep on me, and I don't even know when she fell asleep. And I wake up in the morning, and she's lying on top of me, and I had to do it all over again. And then finally I moved out on my own when she was about 3, and juggling her with work and school and picking her up late at night, dropping her first thing in the morning before the sun even comes up, get her dressed in her snow gear and carry her, walk in the snow to take her to the babysitter. It wasn't an easy job. It wasn't easy. I remember one time I was supposed to pick her up from daycare, and first time in a new daycare, 1 minute, I was half an hour late. They charge you $1 per minute. So I was 30 minutes late, and I remember walking in there, and the lady said, "Oh, you finally made it," and I just started crying. Tears were just dripping down my cheek, and the lady just said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay." Like, it's not easy with the money I'm making now. I have to pay $30. It's not easy. And she said, it's okay for this time, because I'm the only one here, I'm gonna let it go. And there was this man, I wish I could have ever said thank you to him. He did something that most people will not do, especially when they don't know you. He stopped, it was raining, it was hailing. He pulled me and my daughter in front of his house and said, wait here. When it stopped raining, I will drop you guys home. And he dropped us home. I never got the chance to say thank you. But looking back at it, it's not something that you would say there's joy in it. There are days that my daughter and I just sit back and we laugh. And there are days that are hard, especially a few years ago. It happened to me twice. First time I lost my job, it hit me. That's when I realized that I am a single mom, because there was no income coming from anywhere but me. I was the sole supporter. She's in daycare, she's doing all these things. How am I going to support her? I can't. And I remember going home that night and crying. And everybody tells you, oh, it's going to be okay. That's what you hear. Like, people tell you, oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, it's going to be okay. But they don't emotionally. Nobody knows what you are going through. They're just saying it, and then they go to their houses and you go to your home. And at the end of the day, it's just you and your child. And how you guys are going to eat, it's up to you. So when it happened, I cried that night. I cried unto God, and for the first time, I got another job within 2 weeks of losing the other work, which was great. But then to experience it again the second time of losing my work and still a single mom, that was also very difficult. And this time around, there was a day that, and this is something that I have never shared with anybody, because it becomes like, why can't you make it? Why is it that you are still single? People look at you as if you've done something wrong, as if you plan on becoming a single mom, and they don't realize that you are trying. And I remember I only had $10 to go to the store. And I remember getting up in the morning and I said to her, Maxine, we only have $10 for food to last us this week. Please, what would you like from the store? Just remember that whatever we buy has to last us for the whole week. And being a child, she does not care. She just said, I want fries, I want this, I want that, I want chicken wings. And I went into the store and I had $10, walked past the chicken box about 7 times. Don't know, because I'm looking at the money in my hand and looking at how much that cost. So I finally grabbed it. It grabbed the fries and came to the cash register. And as I was walking to the cash register, there was a song that was going in the back of my head, and it's Kirk Franklin, I Cry, I Smile Even Though It Hurts. And I was just humming it in my head. And I got to the counter, and the chicken wings that was supposed to be $8 was $4. Apparently it was on sale that day. So God being so good, I was able to buy that and the fries and buy onion and juice and walked out of there with a change of $1. That does not happen. It doesn't happen. But I know that there is always someone working hard to make sure that I'm okay. and that I'm not alone. Even though it feels alone, if every single day it felt lonely. I will go to bed crying. I cry on my pillow all the time, asking God, why? Why me? Why can't I get somebody? What is it wrong with me? And when you are around people, they look at you and they just judge you and think that, oh, well, she must have done something wrong. They never look at the man. It's never the man's fault. I know there's single dads out there, but it's never the dad's fault. It's always the woman's fault. That's not always the case. It's been, right now I'm doing it, and I wouldn't change my daughter for anything. I always say that she was a gift from God. She helped me overcome so much things. If it wasn't for her being in my life, maybe certain things that I went through, I probably wouldn't have overcome it. But she is in my life for a reason, and as a single mom, that's what we hold on to. There is the thing that you don't have to make decisions with other people. It's only you that gets the chance to tell the child, okay, this is all you have and this is all you are getting, and you just hold on to that. You hold on to that little time. When they are not there and you have that moment to yourself, it makes you happy. It takes away, you like, okay, I finally have a day to myself. I finally have, I don't remember, like I can't recall days that I actually can say I had a day to myself. I can't, because every time it's about the child. Every time it's about them. You have to make sure that they are eating. I have to make sure that she's eating. I have to make sure that she's clothed. But I did it because you have no choice but to do it. You don't have anybody to lean on. There are family members that will say, oh, I will help. But when it gets to a certain point, they can't always be there when you need them. You have to do it on your own. You go to bed, when it's cold, it's just you lying in bed. When you come home from work and you have had such a horrible day, there's nobody to talk to. There's nobody to talk to. You have to talk. It's just you doing it. And those were most of the hardest times, when you have had such a horrible, horrible day and you just need to come home to somebody that you can just say, oh, you won't believe the day I had, and that is not there for you. But you just look at your daughter and you just have to be strong for that child. You just have to be strong for the children and just know that, well, if you break down, who's going to take care of them? When I get sick, one time I got sick and that's the first time she had to make lunch for herself. She had bread and cheese, and I was in bed for a couple of days and there was nobody to call. So she got the bread, put it in the toaster, 6 years old, making a sandwich on her own, and that's what she ate for 3 days because I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't have anybody to tell that to. I didn't have anybody to call. I don't have, and sometimes you become ashamed. You become embarrassed because you feel like for me at least, like you are going through it and nobody can help you. So you don't want the world in your life. You don't want the world to know everything. So you keep it in and you hide it in and you just keep going. And I'm so proud of her for being able to do that at that age. And my job, I had to work on a Saturday. I don't have anybody to take care of her on a Saturday. And I remember she was 9 and I had to leave her home. And I called her every hour every hour to make sure that she was okay. And she kept saying, yes, mommy, I'm okay. He said, if anybody knock on the door, don't open. Yes, mommy. So that was the only thing we had. She was like, when you become a single mom, I think that every single mom can testify to this, that your children becomes your support when they get to a certain age. Like, they know what you are going through. And because you don't want them to go through what you are going through, you do everything to make sure that that never happens to them. Because people always say how, single children end up in jail and all these things happen to them. So you try your best so that this does not happen to them. You give up who you are to make sure that your kids are okay. Because if you don't do it, you don't have that dad. I didn't have that dad. She didn't have that. And she still doesn't have that. I have to beg and say, please, just take her for a weekend. Or even just one day so I can have that time to myself. I don't need anything from you. Just take her. She's your child. Be there for her. So that way she knows that she has that relationship. And that was even hard. That was so hard. But we got through it. By the grace of God, we got through it. And each day, we just took it as it comes. Each and every day, we took it as it comes. Now, she didn't let that stop her, that she didn't have the dad in her life. She was every week winning an award at school when she was finishing grade 5. She got the best attendance. She's never been late for school. She never missed a day in school, because I'd rather be sick than for her to miss out on anything. And that's what the sacrifice that you make that sacrifice, that I'd rather suffer than to see my child suffer, because you don't want her to see the pain. And sometimes you try to hide it, and they see it, so they do everything that they can to help. I wouldn't trade her for anything. I wouldn't trade being a single mom for anything. It's an experience that you go through. It's a time of life that you go through it, and as you are going through, you learn the best way to deal with it. But would I wish it on anybody? No. Would I do it all over again? Not. I wouldn't. Like, there are parts of it that I enjoy. Like, I don't have to come, if she's misbehaving, I don't have to say, let's wait till your dad come and you will see. No, I make that decision on my own, and that made me stronger. That has actually helped me in a lot of ways, that I'm able to stand on my own 2 feet and play the role of a mom and a dad at the same time, and know that either way she's gonna be fine. And being able to go to her appointment, parents-teacher interviews, and be there and hear the story from the teacher saying, she's such a great kid. She's just so wonderful. She's amazing. And then I'm, as a mom, you're like, what else can she do to be better? And one time, one teacher just said to me, just enjoy what you have at this moment. There's nothing else she can do to get any better than she is. And I really appreciate that, because it made me realize that being a single mom was not so bad. You get the hang of it, and you find that moment to enjoy it and be happy with it, because you don't choose the life, it just happens. And when it happens, you just make the best of it and enjoy the moment with your child, because you will look back at it, and all the tears and all the late nights staying up and feeling like the world is just falling on your shoulder and you have nobody to lean on, you would laugh about it, because there were days that I laugh about it. I had surgery when she was only a few weeks old, and I remember my sister, she was 18 at that time. She had to come and stay with her for me, so that way she would have somebody with her overnight. And she was looking at my sister as if my sister is her mom. For only a week, she was looking at her as she's her mom. Like, I had that help, and I really appreciated that she helped me out. My sister, she really helped me out. And when she was going through the same thing, I stepped in and I helped her out as well. So when you meet people that are single mothers, you have something to share. You know how they feel. When I see somebody going through it, I know how they feel. And I don't tell them that it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, but they need to figure that out on their own. They need to know that they didn't do anything wrong, and it happened. It's the best thing. You can't change it. You can't do anything about it. You just have to embrace it and just take it one day at a time, and you will make it through with the children, because they, at the end of the day, are your biggest support. They are your biggest backbone. They are everything. It makes you have a heart for children that you never thought that you would have. So yeah, that's my story. It hasn't been an easy journey, but every day I enjoy it. There were days I wish my mom was there, that I can call and just leave her with her. And she wasn't there. And I cried about it. I cried so much about it. And yeah, she wasn't there, because I know my mom went through that. She went through it with 2 kids. She raised us on her own, and it wasn't easy for her. I remember saying, I'm never going to go through that. But then I went through it, and I realized what she had to give up for herself. And one thing that she told me one time was, even if I'm eating stones, I will make sure that you guys are eating stones with me. And that's what a mother does. That's what a mother does, eating stones. And that's what I have been doing with my daughter, eating stones together. And I enjoy every moment of it. Now she's all grown up, and we are great. We are happy. These are tears of joy.